3, 2, 1. Eagle Country 106.3. It's the month of April, no fooling. And this week, we're going to be talking about Heartworm Awareness Month. And that is the month of April. Good morning, Doctor.
Yeah, I'm not sure who decides all this, but April is designated as Heartworm Awareness Month. So what I thought we would do is we talk about a couple of little trivia questions related to heartworm disease. And also, first off, I'll give you this a great website for resources because there's a lot of information on the internet, and probably half of it's wrong. Okay, and the problem is trying to figure out which half is wrong. Okay,
right.
So this is a great website. So if you got a pen and paper, www.heartwormsociety.org is basically a stopping ground for all of the major researchers in the U.S. that study heartworm disease at the different universities. This is a consensus website as to, based on all the current information out, this is the best information and the best policies. There's also, for owners, there's a little pet owner resources little tab. It's got a little questions, and I actually pulled some of the little questions off of that. So we're gonna do a little trivia today. Okay.
I won't look at the answers.
All right. Well, I actually didn't write them down, so we'll get them figured out. So the average lifespan for the adult heartworm in dogs is A, less than 1 year, 5 to 7 years, 2 to 3 years, or more than 10 years. What do you think?
Less than 1 year.
Less than 1 year. The answer is actually 5 to 7 years.
Wow.
So that once infected, the heartworm will live about 5 to 7 years in the dog. Wow. So antigen tests, which is when we do an occult heartworm test, detects proteins that are primarily found in adult female worms, adult male worms, microfilaria, or infective larvae.
Tell me.
It's like SAT. If you have no clue, don't guess.
Infected larvae.
It's actually the adult female worms. And the way I remember when they first explained the occult test, they said the antigen is like perfume, okay? And only the females wear it, okay? And it actually is only detectable after the worms have been in the system for 6 to 7 months.
Wow.
That's why if you've been off for the last 2 or 3 months, but prior to that, we may not test right off the bat because you're not going to be positive for a while. Now here's an interesting one. Infected dogs could accumulate very large worm burdens over several years and may have up to 10 worms, 50 worms, 75 worms, or 250 worms.
I'll say 75.
It's 250 worms.
Oh.
They've actually harvested of the 200. It's incredible. And I remember as a undergraduate, and when I was in high school, most of the old veterinarians had these hearts sitting in jars. Matter of fact, I think there was one at our clinic when I first got there, and of course the bits of yuck. It's just disgusting to look at. But the hearts are literally just crammed full of these worms.
Oh my God.
Now here's another interesting question, because it is Heartworm Awareness Month, and we would be remiss if we did not mention kitty cats.
All right, let's see if I can get this one
We
right.
do know that cats get heartworm disease, and interesting with heartworm disease, it's a very acute disease. They actually have a condition called HARD, which is an acronym. And in cats, that stands for heartworm-associated respiratory disease. So what happens, your cat walks in the door, it's going, can't breathe, and if you do not get them treated right away, they can pass away within 24 hours.
Oh my God.
It's a lot less prolonged. But, so for cats, there is no treatment. Okay, you can only basically try and alleviate the symptoms, but you can't get rid of them. But for cats, infected cats, and remember 250 in dogs, infected cats usually have smaller worm burdens and are most likely to only have 40 to 50 worms, 10 to 20 worms, 20 to 30 worms, or 1 to 3 worms.
1 to 3 worms.
That is, you got one.
Hey!
Yeah, no, 1 to 3 worms. As a matter of fact, one worm dying in a cat is enough to cause that HARD syndrome.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and so for cats, there was a study done. There's a 5.4% incidence in cats. That study was done just down the road at Alachua County Animal Control, which means 1 in 20 cats that are coming through my door have that 1 to 3 heartworms.
Oh my God.
Okay, and if that worm dies, we run the risk of getting this acute respiratory thing. So it is Heartworm Awareness Month. We need to, if you've been off prevention, there's no better month to get right back on it. Okay, and with the kitty cats, don't forget that heartworm prevention is just as important for them. And remember, www.heartwormsociety.org. Okay?
And we'll be back right after this.